After starting college, Lisa Smith often experienced things like this. The four people in the dorm, when one of them went to the cafeteria to get food, would often forget her portion. The reasons usually went something like this: I thought you went to the reading room. Didn't you go to the cafeteria yourself? Oh, you were still in bed. In short, it all boiled down to one thing: I thought you weren't even in the dorm. Late at night, Lisa Smith began to consider this problem. She was 20 years old, an ordinary person. Not very talkative, average-looking, average height, with a mild temperament. Her studies and work were both mediocre. She wasn't particularly strong or weak in any subject, not a star student but not failing either. She had basically no special talents or skills, an ordinary person who couldn't be more ordinary. She lived a mundane life, easily lost in the crowd. In the past 19 years, she had a few friends, but they only thought of her when they were short a player for parties or games. She was always the substitute. At that time, she comforted herself, maybe it was because she wasn't a fun person. Similarly, no boys pursued her. She could assume they were secretly admiring her from afar, just being patient. No teachers praised her, probably just to avoid her becoming arrogant and complacent. During her 6 years of middle and high school, she was called on to answer questions in class fewer times than she could count on two hands, maybe because she was too well behaved and there was no need for the teachers to remind her of anything. But after starting college, more details made Lisa Smith realize the seriousness of the problem. One day, she walked past the girls in her dorm to go to the bathroom, deliberately tripping on a chair. The leg of the chair scraped against the tile floor, making a sharp sound, but still none of her roommates looked at her. They were wearing their headphones, listening to music, watching K-dramas, playing games, nodding their heads, and tapping their feet to the beat. Lisa Smith stood there for a long time before finally going to the bathroom. It was as if she were invisible. After coming back, Lisa Smith went on Google and searched for presents. The encyclopedia's explanation was very academic and boring. She scrolled down and saw an introduction to a book about presents. Presents as a power stronger, more lasting, and happier than beauty and wealth. In the vast sea of people, you might notice someone at a glance. It must be because that person has something unique about them. This special quality is presence. Being easily overlooked and lacking presence is, to some extent, a terrible thing in today's fast-paced society. Do you feel that your self-worth is not valued, that you are always out of place, lack confidence, and do not receive good recognition and praise? You live, but you are ignored. You love deeply, but you are despised. You participate, but you are overlooked. You try your best to connect with the world, but you feel like you are becoming an increasingly silent shadow, lonely and desolate. Lisa Smith rested her chin on her hand, stared at these words for a while, and then closed her laptop. The next day, on her way to class, Lisa Smith saw a male classmate waving to her from afar. The boy was good-looking, his young smile bright and cheerful in the sun. While thinking about what kind of smile she should return, she slowly pulled her right hand out of her pocket. A girl jogged past her, calling out the boy's name loudly. Then, the two of them walked away side by side, talking and laughing. So, he wasn't waving to me, Lisa Smith thought, feeling a little disappointed, but only a little. She was used to it anyway. At noon, the class president, unnamed, came to the dorm and asked her, "Lisa Smith, why haven't you paid the class fee yet?" Lisa Smith looked confused. "You didn't come to collect it from me." "Really?" The CL. As president, unnamed, began to shirk responsibility. "Maybe you weren't in the dorm when I came. Didn't anyone in your dorm tell you?" "No," Lisa Smith shook her head. "Why didn't you tell her?" The class president, unnamed, looked at the three people inside, roommate A, roommate B, and roommate C. Roommate A took off her headphones. I thought roommate B would tell her. Roommate B, with her straightforward personality, said bluntly, I just forgot. Roommate B added casually, sorry. How do you always forget? Lisa Smith's face flushed, and her eyes started to water. Am I not part of this dorm? Just because I'm not fun or special, I don't deserve to be in your thoughts. Lisa Smith rarely lost her temper. She ran out of the dorm, the bright sun overhead, the past events vivid in her mind. This was the first time she had yelled at her roommates since coming to college. Undoubtedly, it was childish, like a child misbehaving just to get an adult's attention. But she had been forced to the edge of a cliff and had no choice. Lisa Smith stayed outside until night. She sat by the side flower bed, took out her phone, and saw there were no missed calls and no new message notifications. No one was looking for her at all. She opened her browser again and searched for presents. You live, but you are ignored. You love deeply, but you are despised. You participate, but you are overlooked. Lisa Smith read these sentences over and over again, then went back to the search page. Her sobs after crying and venting felt so pointless. She flipped through all the search results about presents, page by page, the tears on her cheeks already dried by the wind. Until the last page, she saw a line of text, Presents, a small shop that helps you gain presents, allowing every destined person to get what they want. The shop's address was in a suburb on the outskirts of the city, but not too remote. Lisa Smith wasn't bad with directions. She chose to take the nearest bus, walked a few hundred meters, and saw the shop at the end of an alleyway. The shop looked like an abandoned hair salon. It was simple, with a glass sliding door, some graffiti conveying a sense of age. It could be said that it had no presence at all, but on its door were two completely mismatched, bright red words in bold, Presents. That was the name of the shop. Lisa Smith took a deep breath, pushed open a crack in the door, and walked in. The shop was indeed a former old hair salon. It was fairly clean and tidy, with those vanity mirrors lined up along the aisle. Lisa Smith walked past them, her peripheral vision catching glimpses of herself in each mirror. It was as if there were really many people watching her. A young man in a long coat was sitting in front of the last vanity mirror, focused on playing with his phone. The modern technology clashed sharply with his refined retro attire. Lisa Smith could only see his profile. He wore round glasses and crossed his legs. His posture was very rebellious. Lisa Smith slowed down and stopped about 2 meters away from him, her hesitation making her voice slightly weak. Boss. The young man turned 90 degrees in his swivel chair, facing Lisa Smith directly. Yes, I'm the boss. What can I do for you? He raised his eyebrows slightly as he asked. Lisa Smith struggled to find the right words. I heard that you can help people find presents? No, it's to help you have presents. People who are born without presents will always be invisible no matter how hard they try to find it. It can only be filled in later. The boss put his phone back on the counter next to him and stood up. People with refined faces usually didn't appear very tall, but Lisa Smith felt that he was much taller than she had imagined. She asked, How do you fill it in later? Will you teach me how to put on makeup, dress well, and become pretty? Or will you teach me how to talk and act so that I can become someone who Keeps everyone happy? Humph. The young man sneered, took off his glasses with one hand, picked up a small amount of long coat fabric, and slowly wiped the lenses. Then my shop would be too weak. He put his glasses back on his nose. I can make you the center of attention while still being yourself. How is that possible? Lisa Smith raised her voice. I was born someone who isn't special. No one will take a second look at me. I'd be grateful if they didn't forget about me. So, the boss walked closer to her, sounding a little impatient. Do you want presents or not? If you don't stand here wasting my time. Get out of here. I've never been patient. I'm only willing to say this much to you because you had the patience to flip through hundreds of pages to find my shop's website. I do. But do I really not have to change myself at all? Lisa Smith was still struggling. Why are you so impatient? I'm just curious. Can I have presents without changing myself? Yes. The young man lowered his eyes and looked at Lisa Smith expressionlessly. However, you need to exchange it for something I want. What? After you leave this shop, everyone around you will start paying attention to you. You just need to record all the ways they are nice to you every day and email it to me. In addition, you will receive many gifts. Please summarize these gifts and give me half of their value every week. For example, if you receive $5,000 worth of gifts, you have to give me $2,500. All I need is that. What do you need these for? Obviously, the gifts are the exchange money for buying presents. The goodwill and attention others give you is so that it can be passed on to the next person like you to continue using. The young man habitually adjusted his glasses. He looked like a refined retro teacher. If you violate the rules due to greed, forgetfulness, or other reasons, I will take back the presents I gave you today at NETI. Me. If I don't violate the rules, will you suddenly take back the presents? Unless you die. The young man looked at her. Lisa Smith still couldn't believe it. I still think it's incredible. The young man smiled, snapped his fingers, and the wall-mounted TV suddenly lit up. He looked up at it, the lines of his jaw smooth and firm. She is the last customer who came here. Lisa Smith followed his gaze to the television screen, which showed a major entertainment channel. Amidst the noisy cheers, a slender woman in a long dress walked onto the red carpet. Flashes of light flickered non-stop. She was like a crystal mermaid swimming in the galaxy. Lisa Smith immediately recognized her because her fashion magazine cover photo was often used as a model by her roommates to decorate their wardrobes. Her name was also well known. During class breaks, boys would more or less discuss her. They all called her a goddess. Is there anything else I need to pay attention to? This was Lisa Smith's last question. Nothing, but I want to tell you that presents doesn't only have a good side. Haters exist alongside fans. You can endure endless praise, but you will also face equal slander, the young man replied in a steady tone. 3 minutes later, Lisa Smith said goodbye to the boss and walked out of the shop. The next day, Lisa Smith's life changed dramatically. She began to feel extraordinary care from her roommates, and her popularity was unusually high. Roommate A, let's go see a movie downtown today. We can also go shopping and eat something good. Roommate B, is Lisa Smith going? If Lisa Smith doesn't go, I won't go either. Lisa Smith smiled, feeling flattered and a little embarrassed. I'm definitely going. Roommate A, that's right. How can we go out without Lisa Smith? It wouldn't be fun without her. Roommate C, I want to walk next to Lisa Smith today. No one can fight me for it. Going to the cafeteria? Don't forget to get food for Lisa Smith. H. Lisa Smith, I saw a super cute phone case online. Can I buy one for you too? How about I get blue and you get pink? Lisa Smith, you have to watch this show. Lisa Smith, should we go to the reading room together tomorrow? Lisa Smith, are you asleep? I need to go to the bathroom, but I'm afraid getting out of bed will wake you up. Lisa Smith. Uncontrollably, the boys in her class began to pay attention to this ordinary-looking girl. Within a week, Lisa Smith became a major topic of discussion in the boys' dorm every night. Lisa Smith began to receive love letters and gifts from different people, in different tones, and with different styles. The stuffed animals she received filled her upper bunk. When one bouquet of flowers withered, a new one would be placed in the vase on her desk. There were also many valuable items, crystal jewelry, gold and silver jewelry, electronic devices, everything, all deeply expressing their attention and love for her. The advisor had called her into the office alone and asked her if she planned to join the party this semester. There were very few spots, and it would be a good opportunity for her. At student union activities, her name would always be mentioned, even if she didn't compete or participate on stage, just because the department head said, "Why not add Lisa Smith?" When she walked past the basketball court, a ball would automatically hit her on the head. A handsome boy would immediately run over to apologize and ask for her contact information. Even the proud stray cats in the flower bed would stop and look at her for a few seconds before leaving. Her parents would call her every 2 days to ask how she was doing, afraid that she was sick or in pain. For 20 years, Lisa Smith finally experienced what it meant to be cared for and noticed. Its arrival was grand and unexpected, like a dream. Very unreal. Late at night, Lisa Smith wrote a reward email to the shop owner on her phone. She pulled only right at night because people were always bothering her during the day, texting, calling, putting their arms around her shoulders, trying to hold her hand, unwilling to leave her alone for a moment. She was worried that someone would find out about the presents shop, worried that such beauty would no longer last long after being noticed, and no longer belong to her. A sweet burden, a tangled infatuation. Thinking of this, she pinched her cheek hard. Ouch! It hurt! It was real. It was really real. In the dark, Lisa Smith covered her mouth, and tears welled up instantly. "Lisa Smith, are you crying?" someone suddenly asked from the lower bunk. Lisa Smith thought her roommates were asleep and was shocked. She quickly replied in a low voice, "It's nothing. Are you really okay?" "Yes, I just think you guys are so nice. I'm studying at school/university alone, and I'm so lucky to have roommates like you. I'm really touched." Lisa Smith couldn't stop her tears, even though she had only been treated like this for a week. She wanted to give them a lifetime of gratitude in return. "It's great to have you too," her roommate said gently, as if they had really been good friends for many years. Before closing her email, Lisa Smith added "thank you" at the end of the letter and sent it. The shop owner usually replied with just 2 words, "Received." After sending emails for 3 days in a row, Lisa Smith always thought the shop owner's email was an automatic reply. No matter what she sent, the answer she received was received. But in fact, it wasn't. Today, the reply she received was, "You're welcome." Lisa Smith suddenly felt that the strange, unconventional man was actually quite humane. Weekend. The day before, Lisa Smith had packed up all the gifts she had received. She carefully placed them all in a suitcase, planning to take half of the value of the items out and send them to presents. When her roommates asked, she said that she had too many things in the dorm and would take them home first. Everything went smoothly. Lisa Smith stayed in a hotel outside for one night. The receptionist treated her exceptionally well and even gave her an extra piece of candy. The receptionist smiled and said that she rarely saw guests who were so pleasing to the eye. The next day, she arrived at Presents, as scheduled. To her surprise, she saw someone here, the goddess from the television. She was dressed fashionably, with exquisite makeup, her overly fair skin making her look radiant. She stood in the simple, dilapidated hair salon, like a star that had fallen into the dust. Shortly after Lisa Smith noticed her, she also caught sight of Lisa Smith. She lit a cigarette and turned her head to look at the shop owner. "Leo Brown, is this your new client?" "Yeah," the shop owner nodded perfunctorily, focused on playing with his phone. Lisa Smith learned his name, Leo Brown, which made her think of orderly and rigorous Germany. "Your clients are getting worse and worse," the goddess said leisurely, exhaling a smoke ring. It was pleasing to the eye when a beautiful person did anything. "It must take more of your ability to deal with someone like this, right?" "She's better than you." Leo Brown finally turned off his phone, his face as cold as ever. The more ordinary someone is, the easier it is to work with them and the easier they are to satisfy. Someone as beautiful as you, but with flaws in your personality, is more difficult to deal with. The goddess glanced at Leo Brown sideways. You wouldn't understand. No matter how ordinary they are, humans are never satisfied unless they enter another cycle and start over like a blank sheet of paper, which is also the beginning of another vicious cycle. Say less. Leo Brown frowned slightly, looked at Lisa Smith, and got straight to the point. Did you bring the things? Lisa Smith pulled the suitcase in front of her. Here, I brought them. Leo Brown squat Ted down and began to check the gifts in the suitcase. The goddess was still talking to herself. Little girl, have you been happy lately? Lisa Smith thought about the last few days and couldn't help but smile sheepishly. Yes. Happy. Do you like this feeling? I like it. Ha, the goddess chuckled briefly. You really are next. Lisa Smith tried to join their conversation. Next what? The goddess smiled sadly, like a flower destined to wither after a brief bloom. I mean, maybe you'll be the next me. After the inspection, Lisa Smith breathed a sigh of relief and said goodbye to the shop owner. She didn't ask much about the goddess. She and she were from two different worlds. Even if they were customers of the same shop, their starting points and qualifications were very different. Before leaving, Lisa Smith asked Leo Brown, "How long will my presence last?" Leo Brown stood tall in front of the shop door. The twilight was heavy, blurring his overly sharp and piercing eyebrows and eyes. I told you, until you die. Can I enjoy this level of attention for the rest of my life? Lisa Smith exclaimed in surprise. As long as you want, it can still grow. It's proportional to the rewards you give me. Leo Brown's pupils were bottomless. The more you give, the more you get. No, it's already good enough as it is now. Is that so? Leo Brown habitually raised his eyebrows, looking somewhat playful. Yes, goodbye. Goodbye, don't forget your daily tasks. I won't forget. Thank you. I've been very happy these past few days. Thank you so much, Lisa Smith said gratefully before waving goodbye. This time, Leo Brown didn't say anything. Lisa Smith returned to the school/university. 2 days later, an entertainment news story broke out, sweeping across major websites with overwhelming force. During tea breaks, after dinner, in office buildings, small parks, the bustling downtown area, and quiet groves, many people were talking about it. Lisa Smith walked on the oak-lined avenue on campus and casually picked up a newspaper that had blown to her feet. The news was also on it. It was prominently featured on the front page by the media, with headlines in exaggerated and frightening fonts. The goddess is dead. Suicide. She locked herself in a closed room and then turned on the gas. Why did Amy Green commit suicide? Is she really dead? After returning to the dorm, Lisa Smith sent an email to Leo Brown. Amy Green was the goddess's name. Goddesses' names were very goddess-like, and it felt delicious to say them. Wasn't she living well? A big star, girls envied her, men loved her, she was making a lot of money and thriving. Why did she choose to leave here? Leo Brown quickly replied to her, life and death are her own choices. You just need to live your own life well. Is it because of the presents you put on her? Lisa Smith thought of Amy Green's cryptic words to her that day. She said Lisa Smith was the next her. I told you, that was her own choice. Leo Brown's letter was extremely calm. He didn't even try to explain or defend himself. If you don't want to continue, our deal can be terminated. Sleepless night. Lisa Smith considered it all night long, weighing the differences between the past and the present. She didn't want to give up. Life was too wonderful now, and she didn't want to wake up. She wanted her future to be like this, to continue, to last forever. Lisa Smith didn't stop the magic, and the days of being supported and noticed continued. Every weekend, she still had to travel a long distance to send half of her reward to Leo Brown. She was receiving more and more gifts, and Lisa Smith wasn't weak, but she couldn't carry them all by herself. She started taking a taxi and stopping at a corner not far from the shop. After getting out of the car, she looked around on the way to Presents, moving like the wind, as alert as a forest deer. She was afraid that others would kn ow about this place, that they would know about Leo Brown. This was a dark and sweet, profound and rich secret that could only belong to her alone. 3 months later, on a Saturday, Lisa Smith once again dragged a large box to Leo Brown. In addition to that, she was also carrying 2 handbags and a backpack on her shoulders. There's too much. How am I going to carry all this by myself in the future? She gasped for breath. Do you want me to help you carry it? Leo Brown lifted his clothes and squatted down to check as usual. Leo Brown, Lisa Smith lowered her eyes and stared at the top of his head. Do you think this is okay? I mean, relying on this special method to gain attention from others is like cheating, like using a cheat code. It's not relying on your own real strength. Don't you think it's good? Leo Brown carefully wiped the screen of a brand new iPhone 6. Not good. Leo Brown stood up, instantly towering 2 heads over Lisa Smith. You don't seem to have noticed something. What? Lisa Smith widened her eyes. The first time you came to me, the tone of your voice was extremely timid and hesitant, but now you can express yourself clearly and coherently. Back then, you called me boss very fearfully, but today you can call me by my name directly. Do you feel your own changes? Leo Brown stated calmly. That's right. Really. It's true. In her chest, Lisa Smith's heart was cheering. She knew what it was. It was confidence, a magical power she had never had before. Confidence. She was a person full of confidence. In a happy mood, Lisa Smith dragged her empty box back to the dorm early, humming a little tune. The lights in the room were still on, so her roommates were probably inside. She didn't want to bother them to open the door again, so she was about to take out her key. She heard her roommates talking from inside the door, and Lisa Smith heard her own name. TCH, she looks like that, and her grades are just average. I don't understand why boys like her. The advisor always asks her to help out in the office. I really don't understand. She just got lucky. She's the type of harmless green TB asterisk TCH who looks ordinary and doesn't pose a threat. Guys like that the most, okay? She's probably been flattering the advisor a lot. Don't insult the term green TB asterisk TCH, okay? At least a green TB asterisk TCH has a face you can look at. There's nothing pretty about her face. Why do we hang out with Lisa Smith? Nonsense, everyone hangs out with her. We have to pretend to hang out with her. Bully her? Be careful, she cries and complains to the class advisor and gets the boys to beat you up. Unscrupulous humiliation, reckless slander. They were the sharp teeth of fierce monsters, slowly opening their bloody mouths behind Lisa Smith. Lisa Smith stood silently, torn to pieces. She didn't go back to the dorm and went to a hotel near the school/university again. She couldn't sleep, so she connected to Wi-Fi and wrote an email to Leo Brown. Leo Brown, I accidentally overheard my roommates talking bad about me today. Aren't they usually very nice to me? Why are they like this behind my back? I feel so disappointed. Leo Brown, I told you, there is as much praise as there is ridicule. Praise and scolding, blessings and curses, love and hate, appreciation and jealousy, they seem to be opposites, but ultimately, they are all forms of presence. They can coexist, and you can't stop them. I hate those negative things, he was right. But Lisa Smith still couldn't help but cry out loud, wiping away her tears. I don't want to be hated. That's impossible. No one can fully accept everything about a person. At most, you can only make others tolerant and convinced. Leo Brown was methodical and didn't seem like a real person. Half of other people's attitude towards you comes from your performance, and the other half comes from their hearts. What should I do then? I can't stand it. Feel so sad when I think about what my roommates said about me. I haven't done anything bad. I'm not a bad person. I just want everyone to like me. Lisa Smith typed frantically. Come see me tomorrow. Okay, you have to help me. Lisa Smith's tone was as if she was kneeling to him. The next day, the beginning of the week, Lisa Smith broke the record and didn't go to class. Everyone in the class was curiously discussing it. The sudden disappearance of this classmate made them extremely uncomfortable. Halfway through the class, the instructor also asked on the podium, Lisa Smith isn't here today? It wasn't until the class president, unnamed, said that she had asked for sick leave that everyone breathed a sigh of relief. About 3 days later, Lisa Smith returned to the dorm. Her roommates thought she looked a little different, but they couldn't say exactly what was different. She still talked and did things as usual, but it was just weird. Summer vacation came as scheduled, and everyone dragged their suitcases, said goodbye to each other, and hugged each other. I'll miss you, her roommate said eagerly in Lisa Smith's ear. Lisa Smith leaned on her shoulder and silently curled her lips in an area where she couldn't be seen. 2 months later, everyone returned to school/university. This time, when they saw Lisa Smith again, they could hardly recognize her, but they knew it had to be her. She had cut her double eyelids, raised her nasal bridge, and filled her chin perfectly. She should have also had liposuction, fixed her teeth, and whitening injections were a matter of course. Because she, as a whole, was close to perfection. No, not perfect, but sweet, like a white camellia that had just been dripped with morning dew. Fresh, clean, and harmless. What did they say about you behind your back? Leo Brown asked her that day when she pretended to be sick and took a vacation. They said I was ugly and a green TB*TCH, and that I didn't deserve to be liked. Then become a real green TB*TCH, Leo Brown supported his chin. Make them convinced and speechless. How do I do that? Start with your face. Why do that? Lisa Smith looked annoyed. You didn't say that in the past. You said that I could become the center of attention while still being myself. Why do I have to change myself to please others now? You're defrauding customers. Leo Brown glanced at her coldly. Are you sure your current self is still the same as your original self? If you weren't trying to please others, why would you care so much about what they think? You're desperately trying to gain recognition. Is it for yourself or for others? Have you figured out what you want? Lisa Smith felt a chill and was speechless. You got plastic surgery? Her roommates gasped in unison, astonished. Yeah, what do you think? Lisa Smith smiled casually, creating an illusion of captivating beauty. Her roommates were speechless, their eyes filled with surprise and fear, surprise at the unknown, fear of beauty. This was the outcome Lisa Smith most wanted to see. Like wildfire, the news of her plastic surgery spread throughout the school/university. Within a week, she was being pointed at and whispered about wherever she went. People talked about Lisa Smith, saying things like, she's completely fake, how disgusting, is there anything real left on her body? Does she even respect her parents? Lisa Smith remained silent, calmly uploading her photos to the campus beauty pageant on some website. At the end of the season, Lisa Smith was at the top, her innocent-looking selfies bringing in millions of votes from male admirers. Beauty and fame were unstoppable. Lisa Smith registered for Twitter and quickly became an internet celebrity with millions of followers. Every selfie had thousands of comments, half praising her beauty, the other half criticizing her for being fake. She became the school/university's ambassador, filmin' a highly praised promotional video that garnered 20 million views. Netizens affectionately called her the Stanford University goddess. She began associating with many womanizing industry elites and upper-class celebrities, frequenting various social circles and high society events. She started accepting the idea of being a kept woman, leveraging her plastic surgery to extract a large sum of money from Leo Brown. In a couple of years, people had completely forgotten what Lisa Smith used to look like. All they knew was the current her, independent, free, and living in a world unattainable to most. Underclassmen at the school/university spoke of her, saying she was beautiful and cool. Lisa Smith understood that only by being strong enough could she silence most people. What is equality? What is affability? What is kindness? What is exchanging sincerity for sincerity? I once smiled at you with all my heart, but what did you give me in return? For the past year, Lisa Smith had been living in luxury apartments in Beverly Hills, pleasing her sugar daddy, only occasionally returning to the dorm. In her roommate's eyes, she no longer saw any false friendliness, only fearful flattery and timid fawning. Lisa Smith laughed to the point of tears in the dead of night. She knew she had succeeded. That was enough. Lisa Smith and Leo Brown's transactions became increasingly simple and crude. Her growing popularity meant Leo Brown would receive more and more compensation. But Lisa Smith was busy with social events and too lazy to sort through gifts, so most of the time she just substituted money, which Leo Brown gladly accepted. Today, Lisa Smith added the fifth zero and wired this week's payment. She lit a slender cigarette and dialed Leo Brown's number. "Hey, check it," she said, her tone casual and seductive, completely different from who she used to be. "How have you been lately?" Leo Brown asked, as always, inquiring about her recent situation. "I'm fine." "Really fine," she repeated, her voice distant, not knowing who she was telling. Half a year flew by, and Lisa Smith was about to graduate. Because of her senior design project, she was spending more time in the dorm. One night, she received a strange email in her inbox. The sender's name was Amy Green, using her Chinese name in the letter. Lisa Smith opened the email. "Dear Lisa Smith, hello. I don't know if you still remember me. I'm Amy Green, and we briefly met at Leo Brown's shop." Some memories rushed through her mind like a gust of wind, and Lisa Smith broke out in a cold sweat. "I know you must be scared, but don't be. This is a letter I wrote before my death. I didn't leave any other suicide note, but I set this email to be sent 3 years from today. After this, I will erase all traces of myself from the world, so I hope you will delete this email after reading it, okay? Thank you. By the time you see this letter, I probably will have been gone for several years. Sigh, do you guys still remember me? Will Leo Brown ever mention me? Probably not, haha. Lisa Smith, I don't even know why I'm writing this letter to you. I don't know why you're the only person I wanted to talk to before saying goodbye to the world. Maybe it's because I felt a connection with you the first time I saw you, or maybe it's because of the presence Leo Brown put on you. You know, once he casts that kind of spell, people can't help but pay attention to you and value you. I don't know how you're doing now, but I guess you're doing well. It feels good to be noticed by the whole world, right? But it's also exhausting, isn't it? Let me guess, what are you like now? Are you like me? You seem very good and very bad in the eyes of others, but only you know all the hardships and exhaustion, right? Lisa Smith, do you like your current life? If you do, that's the best thing. But I don't like it. Do you know why I chose to kill myself? Because a few days ago, I was bored and rummaged through things at home, and I accidentally saw a picture of myself from the past. It was when I had just entered school/university. I was so excited, so I walked around the school/university alone, taking pictures of the scenery with my phone. Later, I came to a very beautiful place, a wooden frame corridor covered with wisteria flowers that looked like purple clouds from a distance. I quickly stopped a passing boy and asked him if he could take a picture of me with the place. He was very kind and immediately took a picture of me under the wisteria frame. I even had that picture developed and put it in my wallet. Because it was really beautiful, there was no one in the corridor, no one was watching me, but I smiled so sweetly, as if the whole universe was watching me with confidence. I hadn't had plastic surgery at that time. I was short and ugly, but that smile seemed to be more beautiful than any smile I have now, many times more beautiful, hundreds and thousands of times more beautiful. At that moment, I felt so sad. I thought my past self was far away from me, but she was right there within reach. I thought I was already doing well now, but I would never have that kind of smile again. I suddenly didn't want to continue this kind of life anymore, but I really couldn't go back. So, I can only choose death as a relief, to atone for my past self. Sigh, thank you. I'm about to die. Thank you for being willing to listen to me talk so much. You're the only person I can talk to now. So, I want to leave this picture to you. It's the most precious moment of my life. Good night, Lisa Smith. Goodbye, Lisa Smith. I wish you all the best and everything goes well. Reading this, Lisa Smith burst into tears. Her roommates didn't know why she was suddenly crying, but they didn't dare to comfort her. Because she was no longer the person she used to be, not the classmate they could casually put their arms around. Lisa Smith scrolled down to see the picture. That had made Amy Green realize her mistakes. The page slowly descended with her movement, until the picture appeared before her eyes. Lisa Smith stopped breathing for a moment. In the white frame, the wisteria flowers were bright, and time was quiet. The girl standing in the middle was of average height and appearance. Some mottled shadows fell on her face, but her smile was brighter than the sun above her head. And this girl was herself. Lisa Smith panicked and deleted the email, emptying her inbox. She ran out of the dorm, her chest hurting so much that she could barely stand up straight. The wind whistled in her ears. Lisa Smith wanted to cry, but no tears would come out. She stopped by the campus lake. The streetlights on the other side of the bank floated in the air like dandelions. She stood there for a long time, and her breathing gradually stopped. 10 minutes later, Lisa Smith closed her eyes and plunged into the lake. The moon was shattered into pieces, and the splash was a scream in the night. She was committed and resolute, not even taking a deep breath beforehand. Lisa Smith! Lisa Smith! Lisa Smith! Lisa Smith! She heard thousands of shouts in her ears, all of them her name. She seemed to walk into an irredeemable nightmare. In hell, countless hands stretched out towards her, pulling at her ankles. She slowly sank, and many small bubbles floated up beside her, like eyeballs hidden in the abyss, staring at her intently, watching her every move, snatching her gradually weakening breath. Through the swaying lake water, Lisa Smith seemed to see Leo Brown. He stood on the bridge, watching her, unmoved. In the cold lake water, Lisa Smith felt a chill down her spine. Every graduation season, the frequency of school/university student suicides tends to increase. Heartbreak, thesis troubles, depression or extremism, discrimination and isolation. No one knew why this girl named Lisa Smith died. She had been infinitely glamorous, becoming increasingly excellent. She was so beautiful that even if she sat there and said nothing, everyone seemed to like her very much. She was a popular figure on campus, a goddess-level figure. She clearly didn't have any of these problems. In the week that followed, Lisa Smith's presence in the school/university and in society was unusually high. She was more in the spotlight than at any time in her life. The attention on the name Lisa Smith reached a new, even higher peak. But she would never see any of it again. Pity and incomprehension will eventually pass, and time will wash away the years unnoticed. After the summer vacation, new students registered, and the school/university was once again replaced, with fresh blood injecting new vitality. Later generations would occasionally talk about it, saying that a very amazing older student seemed to have died in the school/university, but they didn't know why she died. They couldn't even say her name. Today continues, and the sun rises as usual. At the other end of the city, a young man dusted off his overcoat and opened the door of a dilapidated barber shop. The barber shop was located in a remote area, rarely visited. It wasn't a good place for business, but someone would always find it.